Hello everyone, thanks for joining my channel Cloud and Coffee with Navneet. Today we have our special guest Raghu and we're gonna talk about all about SageMaker Unified Studio. So Raghu, welcome to my channel Cloud and Coffee with Navneet. Let's start with the introduction.
Yeah. Hey, Navneet. Thanks for having me. Um, yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Raghu. I've been with the company over 9 years. Been doing product strategy and sales strategy, go-to-market strategy, even product development at AWS.
Cool. And so Raghu is the I say I've been knowing him from last at least 5, 6 years now. And the product which we are going and talking about today is the SageMaker Unified Studio. It has very interesting history, and Raghu may able to put some light around it. So Raghu, just give us some idea why we call it Amazon SageMaker, because we already had a product, Amazon SageMaker, and
Sure.
just give some history behind like how this product come into shape. And as I know, you've been engaged with or was a part of this project from very beginning, even when we are not used to call it SageMaker.
No, absolutely. So the SageMaker brand itself is a well-known brand for AWS. It predominantly was released for machine learning capabilities probably 5, 6 years ago. The brand did really, really well. Very popular brand. The ML capabilities within SageMaker also very popular with our customers. So good brand. And what we did this reinvent is we sort of relaunched the SageMaker brand with a whole lot of capabilities in addition to just ML. So ML is something SageMaker, like I said, always did. We gave it a lot more capabilities. So that way, the SageMaker brand can do all things data. It can do lake houses. It can do data governance. It can do data processing. And in all of these, these things that you need to do even before you get to ML. So it made a lot of sense for us to bring a lot of capabilities, data capabilities into the brand. So you use one single set of tooling to do an end-to-end ML process or an end-to-end, BI work or an end-to-end generative AI insights. So it made a lot of sense for us to double down on the brand and relaunch it with the set of capabilities that we think our customers will appreciate.
Cool. So just to let you, Raghu, we are in the screen sharing mode, and I see there's your screen, and which is not in a screen share. Do you mind like putting so everyone able to learn what all offerings are there? And again, when even before we go and deep dive around what all different like different capabilities which we have around the SageMaker, let's take a step back and learn about the bigger picture, right? So we have been seeing like Gen AI wave really hit industry hard, and so when you will be talking to customer, because no talk is complete without the Gen AI, right? So I should bring the Gen AI in the mix. So when you're talking to the customer, what's the most common blocker you're hearing from the customer, and when we are talking around AI adoption? And the reason I'm asking this question because, as you know, there are history goes behind this product. Why this product in production? It has a lot of to do with the Gen AI. So if you can just give that big picture before we go on.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Navneet, you bring up a good point. Look, the SageMaker capabilities, all the things that you see on the screen, and we will walk through some of this today.
Rahul, do you
It's
mind? Can you go into the presentation mode for
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
this way? It will be much more easier for people to see. Like, yeah, maybe you just have to. Yeah, this is perfect. This is cool. Yeah.
Okay. So, um, most what let me start with your first question, which is what most customers struggle with is is look, the set of capabilities that you can do with data is going faster than customers are able to build mature data platforms within their organizations. So what's happening is customers want to do generative AI applications, but they have data issues. If you are building a generative AI chatbot, You shouldn't be training the chatbot with any PII information, as an example. So the journey of a generative AI application starts with data. Can you trust this data? Is there any PII in this data? Do you know how much data do you have? What's the right data for you to use to build a RAG model? So these are very fundamental questions, and customers start there in their generative AI journey is with just data, building a data inventory, having a trust score with the data, removing PII information, things like that. So we are working with customers in building that, a trustable generative AI data architecture, so you can, take advantage of where the technology is today and build those generative AI applications. In so many ways, building generative AI applications is the easy part. It's everything leading up to it, which is the harder part.
Yeah, I remember there's a one image of tip of an iceberg. The Gen AI application on the tip of the iceberg, and then everything goes like the data governance, guardrails, security, right? Training, fine tuning, everything as such goes under it. Like not many people talk about, because those are not very, more or less, not very exciting or sexy things to talk about. More
That's
like,
right.
yeah, yeah, we people are far interested in doing the vibe coding, but like, hey, someone has to do and build those data foundations. So tell me about Amazon SageMaker as a product, and what all components are there, and then we go and talk about each and every component in details.
Okay, I'll do my best. It's a big monster of a product. We did a good job building a lot of things together. So the way I like to explain this, it's a three-layer cake. At the bottom, you have a lakehouse functionality, and what's a lakehouse? It's basically a transactional data lake, which we have built using Iceberg capabilities, Iceberg APIs. That's what we are starting off with. So you get transactional data lake capabilities. Not going to go too much into what a transactional data lake is, and it itself can be a podcast. And we are doubling down on the Iceberg set of APIs and Iceberg set of capabilities for our lakehouse. What's nice about our lakehouse is you can use those Iceberg compatibility even with Redshift. So regardless of how you build your lakehouse, which could be on S3, that would be a transactional data lake, plus Redshift, if you want to, can all be accessed through our lakehouse architecture. In addition to this, we also have data federation, so you can take the lakehouse capabilities, connect to a third-party database, such as MySQL and many other data sources, and interact through those Iceberg APIs, take advantage of unified governance, fine-grained access control, and so on. So we expect our customers to take advantage of the lakehouse architecture, and in some cases leave the data where it is and use the federation capabilities to access the data. In other cases, they might take advantage of our zero ETL capabilities, where you are bringing data from the source systems into the lakehouse. And by lakehouse, again, I mean could be S3 or Redshift, and then query the data that way. So lot of flexibility here, a lot of openness. Huge fan with what we have done at the Lakehouse. Then going up the stack, data and AI governance. If you're going to build a lakehouse, we expect our customers to build at scale. And when you are building something at scale, you need to be able to manage those data stores at scale. And for that, you need a set of data governance capabilities. And data governance term can be used loosely. What are some of the things that we bring to the table as part of data and AI governance? Is a business data catalog. We have lineage. We have data quality, search and discoverability of data, data auditing, PII detection. All of those things and few other things make up the data and AI governance stack, and this sits on top of your data, which can be a lakehouse. And at the very top, we have the SageMaker Unified Studio. And if you read horizontally, you see that the Unified Studio brings a number of data capabilities such as data processing, SQL analytics, machine learning, generative AI development. All of this is GA. You can go into Unified Studio, do all of these things right now. In addition to that, hopefully by the end of this year, we will have BI capabilities built into Unified Studio, open search capabilities as well, and including streaming, like the Kinesis and the Kafka capabilities we have, all will be built into Unified Studio. So if will be built into the studio. So if you take a step back and just sort of take a look at this, the Unified Studio will be an absolute end-to-end data tool, from streaming ingestion to discovery, data discovery, to building data applications, which may be ETL pipelines, which may be SQL pipelines, which may be machine learning models or generative AI apps. All of it will be possible in one single tooling. And one more point, though, before we move off of this, is um, the capabilities that you see on the screen, like data processing. We're not really reinventing the wheel here. The engines underneath data processing are our mature services like EMR Glue. Under SQL Analytics, we have the mature services like Redshift and Athena. Machine learning, again, this is SageMaker. SageMaker has always been known to do machine learning. So it's the same robust inference training capabilities. Generative AI is powered through Bedrock. So the point that I would like to make is, as part of this unification, we are bringing features and functions together, but the engines that run all of these capabilities are, very mature, time tested AWS services.
Cool, cool. This is lot of to unpack too, right? So let's start with the lake house. When you say, hey, we've been building and you able to go and bring the data from the different data stores, like either you can able to use zero ETL or you will be to go and federate it and have the data being stored into the lake house. And the lake house is built on top of Apache Iceberg, which is, I believe, anyone who's hearing this term and who has attended the Apache Iceberg summit, which we had, I believe, on 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th, they must be super, super excited, because I see this clearly. Apache Iceberg is a winner in terms of the open table format, and I've seen lot and lot customer are talk about. However, the lake house itself is a term of lake, data lake, and then data house, like combining those together. And we have a podcast around the same topic, which we already did, Raghu, in past. So tell me about, like, there were talk around, like, how we can have a single unified catalog on the lake house. And I know SageMaker support REST, Apache Iceberg REST API catalog. So what's the thought and reasoning behind having that single catalog layer?
Well, the term catalog can be overloaded. So there are really two different catalogs
Mm-hmm,
underneath. One is a technical catalog,
mm-hmm.
which is, in this case, for the Lakehouse, it's the Iceberg REST-based catalog
Okay.
that gives you Iceberg capabilities, APIs, data management capabilities that are completely open source compatible, and that is the technical part of the catalog.
Okay.
Then there is a business part of the catalog. The business part of the catalog allows you to do way more than connect to an iceberg based catalog. A business catalog allows you to build sophisticated data inventory systems. It allows you to connect to various other source systems that may have nothing to do with Iceberg. If you want to connect to MySQL and bring MySQL tables as discoverable tables within the business data catalog, you can do that. If you want to connect to Snowflake, our one of our partners, and bring their data as part of the business data catalog, you can do that. It just so happens that Snowflake does a lot of iceberg tables as well. But even if not, just ignore the iceberg part. And if you just want Snowflake data to be cataloged, you can do that. So there are really two parts of the catalog, and I think we have done a good job bringing both parts together. So for the customer, when you consume all of these capabilities, it will be seamless. You search, you discover, you request access, you get access, and you get to work. Behind the scenes, the iceberg magic is happening, access grants are happening, and you get on with your work. So that's kind of like the goal.
That's cool. I think I know you have a demo. Can you just show me that the business data catalog? Because what I'm hearing from many customers is like, hey, for the Gen AI, you need to have an access to the data, but it's not the traditional way where you will be going and asking access to your IT, and then IT take a week to grant you access, and then you're working on it. More like I'm a data producer, I should know whom I should be granting an access to, and then
Yep.
I'm a consumer. I should able to go and search for the data without even knowing all the nuances around it in a very natural language. So is it possible for you to showcase Raghu?
I'll do my best. I'm technical to a point. Here's the SageMaker Unified Studio with the catalog and a
Hmm.
whole lot of other things built into it. So like you said, if catalog is of interest, right, we can click on it.
Hmm.
Um, we can,
And for our viewers, just to let you know, the search bar you see here, maybe Raghu, you want to zoom in a little?
okay,
Yeah. So the search bar is a semantic search. It's just not a keyword search. Even though if it's like you can literally ask those question, it's able to provide the description. I mean, it's able to bring you the data.
that's right. So I just searched on something, called shipping data. It is in the catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have my annotation. So this is I have annotated my table here, and I can see that this particular table comes from a glue source. I have some metadata here. If this table has any compression, the region this table is, it happens to be a CSV type data. So I can see some of that metadata. I have a very detailed description about what this table is. I can look at schema. What's the schema of this table, and it has what it has, right? And it has more annotation. Do I have any lineage? It has, yes, I guess it has some lineage. The way I may have created this table, obviously, this is a pretty simple lineage graph, and it can get quite complicated if we want it to be. So this is just a quick high level overview of this. And I can subscribe to this, which I'm not going to do because this particular part of the demo is better shown if I have two different types of users.
Mm-hmm.
But the point here is you can request access, which is subscribe. You can subscribe to this data. The request goes to whoever published this data, and they can grant access to me. In between this transaction of me requesting access through the subscribe function and someone else granting access, there is no IT involved. We don't need to get IT involved in the middle. That's why, this is part of data stewardship, which can be its own topic. But the point here is you want data owners slash data stewards to be responsible for owning some of the access granting functions. This simplifies customers or users looking for data, requesting access. The owners are granting access based on who's requesting. And all of this what that does is it creates a collaborative environment within the organization, cutting out the need for constant DevOps, permissioning, IT, and really helps you accelerate, data innovation based on data within the company.
Yeah, cool. So it's more like a self-service where me as a user, do not know anything where my data resides. I will just go and try to find the data in a natural language. Hey, give me the sales data. It will show me a bunch of table. I will go and review those table and see, hey, this is matching my description. This is where its data is coming. If I have the lineage being built around it, and having said that, like for who, if you anyone is interested, this lineage is using the open lineage, that is again an open source. So you can able to bring any application and have that open lineage being added to it, and that it get populated here. So that's the beauty of having the open lineage added to part of it. You can able to go and see the business metadata, which going to have like business glossaries and the business terms, as well as able to go and see the schema, which kind of, if it's aligned, you can put a subscribe. Can you put a subscribe for me, please? I wanna see how that works. Okay, so scroll down. Yeah. So when you're putting a subscription, you can put a comment why I'm looking to have this in access. And then if your publisher feel like, okay, you are the genuine person, they able to go and grant an access to you. Okay. So can we come back to our screen one more time? So it's look like, so what all data catalog I can able to bring to this one? Is there any specific sets of data sources, or I can bring any data sources?
You can bring tables for sure. You can bring in S3 buckets. You can bring in models. So we call them assets.
Mhm.
View asset types, create asset type, and yeah, not going into it, but my point, my point here is you can catalog different types of assets, not just tables. Tables are certainly the most popular common type of asset, but not everything is a table. Sometimes it is a document, sometimes it is a bucket, sometimes it's a model, sometimes it's a dashboard. So you can have different types of assets within the catalog.
So you're saying if I have a CSV, oh sorry, if I have a PDF file stored into an S3, that get cataloged here as well.
You can, yes.
Okay, cool. And what about if I have to catalog the BI dashboards, if that capability is available or it's going to be in a roadmap?
It is definitely on the roadmap. Once we bring in the capability to do BI within Unified Studio. If you remember,
Yep.
a few minutes ago, I had the PowerPoint and I said, BI functionality is coming. As part of that functionality, we will be in a position to catalog quick site dashboards within the business data catalog.
Wow, that's going to be super, super cool because I've been hearing like, people ask, hey, we have bunch of dashboards which already has a lot of context in it. We have built.
Hmm.
If we're able to catalog those, that will be super, super cool. So I see when you were talking in that previous presentation, you said like, okay, we're going to have you able to do SQL, as well as you able to build the Gen AI application, which I see here. You have the Gen AI playground. Help me, like, that's because those are two different distinct, like they are pole apart. Hey, I've been doing the SQL and then I'm building the Gen AI application. Was the
Absolutely.
was the reasoning behind it, and how that can be done if you have some?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to show you some of these things to the extent I can. So this is just a generative AI playground. So which means I can this is your you know the popular ChatGPT type interface,
Okay,
right? So you can ask any type of questions like
maybe you need to select the model.
oh yeah, thank you. Let's see.
And
I'm
then
going to
all
just
all
use
this model
light.
are integrated from Bedrock. Like, where is this model are coming from?
This, yeah, so you enable these models in the console actually,
Okay,
that are available to you in these type of playgrounds.
got
It's a
it.
one-time setup that someone can do behind the scenes.
Okay,
There is a whole, you don't have to ever go into the console, but when you create your first SageMaker Unified Studio,
Mhm.
it does ask you a bunch of questions like, what do you want to be
Mhm.
available within Unified Studio, right? And as part of that setup experience, you create um, you allow certain models to be available or not. So this is your regular chat GPT. You can say, build me a week long um, uh,
Itinerary or
yeah, schedule to visit Paris, right? And it should be able to do, yeah.
okay.
So this is your regular, chat GPT type interface. And then but if you, and then you can do, image and video as well, like, same thing. um Generate image, you can say, uh, oh,
So it's more like a playground which allow you
it's
to.
a playground. It's a playground, so you don't have to go around, bounce between different things, and it'll do its thing here.
Okay.
um but meanwhile, but this is, if you but you're if you're building a robust chatbot application, then you may want to go to Bedrock, because you want to build a RAG model, you want to have a workflow, do some prompt engineering. It is your chatbot for your organization. For that, I already have a chatbot project, and you can go into, not going to go do that right now, but I think you kind of get the point, which is I can start building a pretty sophisticated chatbot application within Unified Studio, share it with my peers, and then get this thing um, unfolding. So that's another area, um, of generative AI. So one is the playground, the other one is a far more sophisticated custom chatbot application.
No, that makes sense. Hey, I see that when you were showcasing the build, I see there were multiple options are available. Can you just quickly give me an overview around what all things
Sure,
you can do here?
absolutely. So we have, so this is an IDE for data workers. That's
Okay.
what this is. And um, so to allow our customers, our users, write code, we have a Jupyter Lab based experience. Okay. And if you want to write SQL, we have a query editor
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you're low code, no code, but you want to build some type of an ETL pipeline, we have that too. It's pretty cool. Workflows, if you like Apache Airflow, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to love the workflows functionality, again, built within Unified Studio. So anything that you do with Jupyter Lab, anything that you do with Query Editor, if you just want those code artifacts to be scheduled,
Mm-hmm.
and built a pipeline of, you can do that using workflow functionality.
Cool.
Down here, you see that it's predominantly machine learning and AI. You saw this in action a little bit. If you want to build a chatbot, we have the functionality here for you. It's pretty sophisticated, and also low code, no code, so you don't have to kill yourself building these things. They're fairly easy to build. This is SageMaker, and SageMaker as has always been, like I said, a popular brand for machine learning, and therefore the DNA of SageMaker continues to be, pretty robust in this area for model development, inference, um, those type of things, hyperpod. So we have the regular machine learning functionality built already within SageMaker.
I still remember like where we used when we used to have a SageMaker immersion days with the customer or SageMaker discussion with the customer. They used to like that ID, like how sophisticated the SageMaker ID is still that
Hmm.
is there. That look and feel and experience which I see within this unified studio, it's kind of matching what we had in a SageMaker. And it's feel like, okay, you are the user, whether you are a data user, whether you are a SQL user, means whether you are just a analyst where looking to do bunch of queries, or you are an ETL developer looking to do building the ETL pipeline, or if you are an ML worker looking to build the ML pipeline or GenAI application, you don't need to go anywhere. You can just simply use this one single ID, perform all the job without even worrying about even going into console, right? That's what I'm hearing.
That's exactly the point. One of our main objectives of building this SageMaker Unified Studio application is so that our customers don't have to go into the console. We
Make
think console, we learned having done cloud for a really long time, that console is best used for IT DevOps, type personas. It is not the right place for data workers. It complicates things if data workers have to go into the console. So, working back from our customers' feedback, which led us to Unified Studio, we have built it so that you don't have to go into the console for anything. So, as a data worker, if your job failures happen, you should be able to understand the root cause of your failures all within Unified Studio. You should have access to logs, monitoring, all of those functionalities within Unified Studio without having to go to, different places.
that's really really cool. I see one thing which usually people get afraid of is even me, the governance. There's a one governance on the left corner. I'll
This
talk.
right here.
Yeah, just tell me what all governance capabilities. I know you talked about you can able to have a fine grain access control and everything as such.
Yeah.
Just give me what all capabilities are there in terms of governance.
Well, what's the best way of explaining this? Think of this governance as settings, another label that we were considering for this was settings.
Okay.
Okay, this
Mhm.
this kind of gives you a framework for you to use the SageMaker Unified Studio efficiently within your company.
Okay.
Look, the I know we are talking about this at a really high level, but the objective of SageMaker Unified Studio is this particular tool is the only tool that our customers will have to use to work with AWS analytics, ML, and generative AI services. It's a pretty big objective. And our customers, we have many large customers. These customers have multiple lines of businesses, and those lines of businesses have multiple teams. Those teams have various different personas. Those personas have different capabilities and needs. So, and it's just one tool to do them all, right? You see where I'm going with this. So what these set of options allow you to do is it allows you to customize the experience of SageMaker Unified Studio. It allows you to customize the governance capabilities within Unified Studio so that your experience of Unified Studio is closest to how you operate as a company, as an organization. So this needs to make sense to you. And all these options, such as domain units are lines of businesses. Lines of businesses sometimes have their own P&L, profit and loss, their own cost structure. It allows you to do all of that. You can have members, users at each and every of these domain units, right? We are in analytics, you and I. That's the line of business that we are in, Navneet, right within AWS.
Mm-hmm.
So all the stuff that I have in Unified Studio, the analytics team is paying for it, right? So you need that level of granularity, and these set of options basically allow you to achieve that level of granularity. And at the same time, like I said, without diving too deep, because it's just tooling. It allows you to, I can do things like this particular line of business, this particular team can access these type of compute resources, which may be only Spark. A different line of business, um, maybe maybe allowed to do um,
Cluster.
ML.
Okay.
As you can see, I'm seeing some messages on the chat, and I'm getting conscious because about what we are going to say because they are our friends too in the live audience. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of like what this allows you to do.
Got it. Okay, that's really cool. So what I understood this one is, if you're an enterprise organization, you're looking to see how this organizations how this helped me to set up what we have within the organizations. We are having multiple business unit. Within the multiple
That's
business
right.
unit, we are having multiple teams. All the teams going to have their own responsibility. Hey, you are a SQL user. I do not want to grant you an access to maybe EMR. You do not need
Exactly.
to the EMR, right? Or more like, if you're an AML developer, why you even need to have an access to the quick site, right? Means though quick site is not there. Means I'm just giving an example.
Yeah. If we fast forward, 3 to 4 months and all of these things come together, this becomes even more comprehensive with a lot more tooling. Then you need more granularity. You need more setup type functions.
Yep.
And this basically gives you that. It's actually a pretty simple tool. If I'm just a data worker, right? If I'm um, just want to get stuff done, all I have to do is I go into my project. It may be my own project, or actually, my projects are here. It may be my own project, maybe like a personal space. It may be something that you and
Let,
I are
let
working
me
on.
let me pause you here.
Yeah.
What this project is all about?
It's just it's a logical grouping of code, data, and infrastructure, and
Okay.
also users.
Hmm.
An example of a project can be it's my own personal space. I like to do stuff. So I could have a personal project. You and I could be working on something, a lot more serious like fraud detection, right?
Hmm.
And that can be its own project and so on. So when me as a data worker, and then whatever my persona is, which may be a data engineer persona or an ML persona, whatever that is, I go into my project. I have my data. I click on my data. I have my data in my project, and I go and do stuff with it. I'm writing my query. I'm writing my code, or maybe on a Friday I'm quite lazy, like today. I don't want to write code. I click on Visual ETL and I get something done. So I'm focusing more on jobs to be done, as you can see, right? I'm not worried about infrastructure. I don't know or care what infrastructure is spun up behind the scenes. I I hope I just write my queries here.
Hmm.
If the same thing with Jupyter Lab, it's not so much about EMR, it's not so much about glue, it's about me writing code, and I can do that. I'm not thinking about the underlying infrastructure. Someone else will worry about the infrastructure behind the scenes.
Okay.
Okay, and we call them project owners. Again, I don't want to lose my audience based on some of the nuance type setup that goes behind the scenes. It's it all happens in the background. So for SQL, I have Redshift. For data processing, I have EMR, and I also have some Glue.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. Me as a data worker, I'm focusing more on jobs to be done, and therefore I can use Unified Studio to accomplish on those
Got it.
goals.
Got it. Makes sense. So let's make more like I'm having a business unit where hey, I'm an analyst. I've been using Athena for all my life to do a SQL query. So I don't need to worry about hey, right, when someone is setting up the project for me, they will give me that Athena as in compute. I can go and do that. Similarly, if someone is using Redshift as in compute, they're able to just use their own compute without them creating an altogether new compute unit for them to go and query it. So more like
Exactly.
I'm importing my compute for me to do my work in this IDE.
Uh, if that's what you want. If you want to bring your existing long running compute as part of your project, you can do that. Me as a data worker don't have to do anything. It will
Okay.
all be templatized by the platform engineering team. And all I have to do is just go into my project, or all I have to do is go create a new project. Let's go create a new project.
Mhm.
Again, I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay.
Okay. All I want to do, SQL analytics, continue. All I want to do is I want to do some data processing in ML. I select this, continue. And
Oh,
behind the scenes, the compute resources, all of this is templatized, which can be customized by the customers, IT, platform engineering. They like to do this. They want to do this. They want to be able to control the VPCs these resources get spun up into. They want to be able to control, the security setup. All of this is templatized. But me as a user, if I want to go and get access to absolutely everything that we offer, I can do that, right? And all of these resources will be either created new or attached to an existing. I don't care. This project will get spun up in a few minutes, maybe 5 or 6 minutes, sometimes even quicker. If these capabilities are serverless, then it's mostly seconds, and then I'm able to kind of get in there and get my job done. SQL, Spark, whatever. So that's kind of like the idea of Unified Studio. Does that make sense, Namneet?
it make perfect sense and it's blowing my mind. So like I have not to worry about infrastructure at all. It's just more like, hey, this is the predefined template for me, which is being built by my admins, which has a
Yep.
set of resources.
I hope I'm
And
not logged out. But yeah, all that fun stuff. Yes, yeah, I'm signed out. All that fun stuff is in the console.
okay,
I won't
okay.
bother signing back in, but
No, you
all of
just
that stuff is in console. You can create your DevOps, not DevOps, platform engineering, IT will do that for us in console. I don't care. I come here.
and
I'm
just use
doing.
it.
I'm doing. I'm doing what I need.
And even to start with, I don't even need a DevOps in very first place itself or platform engineering very first place because I already have a pre-created template. I can use those or I can customize based on my need, right? If I'm a user at
Absolutely.
then cool. That's
Absolutely. If you are one of, we have many levels of users here. If you are one of our more advanced users, then you can go even add compute without having to go into the console. You can say, I need a new. You can even, like I said, connect to existing. You need a new compute resource.
uh,
Redshift serverless is what we support right now. Same thing with Same
uh,
thing with if I go into data processing, I get to pick EMR serverless, and so on. Glue is built in. It's just the default Spark compute for us. But in addition to Glue, if you want to add something like EMR, which is a slightly different pricing model and compute experience, you can do that. And if you have the permissions for it, knock yourself out, create these resources without having to go into the console. And this particular option need not be available for all your users. It may be available for a handful of users. Again, it takes the pressure off of platform engineering, not having to provision absolutely every single thing. They
Okay.
can have lieutenants who do some of these things for them. Does
Makes
that again? Yep,
makes sense. One thing which I will go back, if you can just go to the home screen one more time on the catalog part, which actually can you go on any of the catalog, data catalog, or any of your assets here?
sure. I'll go into shipping like I did.
Yeah, so I see there's a summary being generated, and then can you go on a schema as well? So who's responsible for building this? There's like description, name, because it's look like a lot of work. So how that can be done?
It is a lot of work. I spent about 30 minutes writing this.
Okay,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So one of the best ways of doing this, right? So I'm in my project. I have some data,
okay.
and what I can do. Um, by the way, generative AI capabilities to help you get through what you need to get through
Mm-hmm.
is fully built within Unified Studio. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I will be showing you one part of Q in action. So if I click on one of the assets I have, this is a table that is it's a personal table. This
Okay.
is not part of the company-wide data catalog. Let's assume I want this table to be part of the company-wide
Mm-hmm.
catalog. All of this is very technical data. Issuer underscore name, issuer underscore date. These are all very technical type data. Um, and I should write a summary. I should write, a README file. I should attach some glossary terms. It's a lot of work. Okay, so what I can do, I can just say, generate some of these annotations for me. So we have, like I said, Q built at all levels of the user experience. In this case, it's going to be doing automatic annotation. All right. And the way this works is by default, let's assume you have a brand new account, brand new everything. Q knows what it knows by which is the baseline knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it will still be useful. And the more you annotate, so it's giving me something. It's giving me something. And you'll be surprised how shockingly accurate this is. You
Mm-hmm.
can edit all of this. And when you edit this, for example, schema annotation, it gave me a whole lot of automatic description, which I can go and I can annotate. When I do this, I'm making the generative AI engine behind the scenes smarter. If you understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So number one, even on your day one, you don't have to start with zero. You are starting off, you know, far, far, far beyond the starting line because it comes with some default knowledge. And
Okay.
as you annotate, it becomes smarter. And I'm not going to do this, but you can accept this. You can accept all these annotations, and then you can publish this asset. And when you publish this asset becomes part
Global catalog.
of your global catalog. And now anyone will be able to search, discover, and request access to it.
Cool. You don't need to publish it, but show me what is this data quality and lineage is, because I'm so really interested. This looks so really interesting.
I don't have a whole lot of quality and lineage demo. I did not write a job in
Okay.
this.
Okay. Okay.
So what you see for lineage looks pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Looks nice. Looks nice. The and as you can see, looks quite nice.
Okay.
And my resolution is a little off because I zoomed
Okay.
in a bit, or I
Mm-hmm.
should say zoomed out. So data quality, also very robust data quality functionality. Again, I have not done anything with it. You can do custom rules. You can do, there are some built-in rules, nulls detected, things like that, which you would expect. as default quality rules, but on top of that, you can also build custom rules, and we provide a nice score, out of 100. What's the point of all this, Navneet? At the end of the day, what is it that you're trying to do? You're helping our customers make better choices when they
Yeah.
are looking for data. We want them to make better informed decisions. So all this in aggregate, all of this metadata, schema, lineage, data quality, all of that summary that you saw, all these things come together to help our customers make those type of decisions.
Cool. This is so really, really cool. I'm not. I mean, I won't do favor kind of justice if I don't talk about that queue on the corner, which I see on your screen at the top. Is it like the queue is integrated within the product?
Oh, absolutely. Let me show you some examples here. I'm glad you asked because I came prepared for that.
Okay.
So if I go into query editor, right, and just I have some data,
Mm-hmm.
right, in my project. This is just my data in my project.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens that Q learns about what I have for
Okay.
data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and and I want to write a query. All right, and the query is write me a SQL to get top 5 stocks in the last, say, 7 days. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I just used Faker to create some fake stock market tables.
Makes sense.
Um, and here's the sequel. Again, my resolution
Wow.
is
Wow.
all off because I changed my resolution. But as you can see, it knows the ticker symbol, it knows what it means, it knows my table stock market historical data, and it is smart enough to know relative to some of the other tables I have. I got all kinds of tables, but it knew this is the right table for it, and it is able to. And my data types are not the greatest. It's all string because I'm lazy, but it's smart enough to convert them to a date type, and yeah, this
But this
here's
is
here's
this
a good
is
query.
this is impressive because it's able to take the context, what is there in your screen, me without kind of telling, hey, just provide me uh, last 7 days stock price for this one from this table. Like I'm not giving any that information. This is so really cool. And so if I'm a very regular user, do not know a lot about uh, SQL, now I can go and start doing a lot of SQL as well here as well.
That's
And
right.
does it like help me to go and search across the catalog? Means I'm assuming because it's integrated into part of product, it will help me to do it, all those things as well.
Yeah, yeah, it should. It can. Um, well, if
Means
you're in the
even in Pro,
catalog,
like,
this
I'm assuming
this
it.
this is powered by Q
Okay.
already.
Okay.
This is powered by Q already. So
Okay.
you have this working for you underneath.
Makes sense. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So we have so much things. I'm assuming I if I'm not wrong, we have almost like 11 services integrated into one single product. 11 or 14. I
I've
don't know.
lost count.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, this came up in one of my customer calls this morning. And you know what I did? I went to our documentation, and I pulled all the managed policies we have. That's one way of knowing how many services are built in, is look at the managed policies that we have as part of the service. And I pulled it out, and we are making all these API calls to all these different services. So yeah, there are many services part of this overall experience. And the nice thing about Unified Studio
Mhm.
is that you don't have to really think about what's underneath. For example, Lake formation is underneath doing doing permissioning. You don't have to worry about that. Glue data catalog is underneath. You don't have to worry about that. There's a lot of S3 stuff happening. Don't care. So there are many services, fundamental AWS services that are part of this overall experience. But as a data worker, I think we have done a decent job in getting these data workers to focus on jobs to be done and not having to constantly run between jobs to be done and IT. So if you build the unified studio the right way, which is my job to help our customers do that, I think this can be a pretty cool platform for multiple use cases within their organization.
Cool. So, if any of you listening and interested to deploy the SageMaker, you know whom to reach out to. And it's not me; it's Raghu. So,
Oh, thank you, Namnit.
so one question before we dispose our call is how much customers should be paying to use SageMaker in File Studio on board? Like it's
Ah,
expensive
yeah. So that's again, thank you. That's a very relevant question. So all of this, the Unified Studio part of it is free.
when you
Okay.
say like free, it's no cost to customer.
It's no cost to customer. However, if you are using Q, right, there is a cost for Q. The best way to explain this is, excuse me, we are bringing a lot of capabilities in one single place. You don't pay to be in Unified Studio, okay? What you do pay for is the underlying compute. If I was to run that SQL that I generated, you pay for that compute, right? If I am to run, I know we didn't get to do much Spark stuff. If I was to, use Q and then generate a Spark script and then run that Spark script, then I pay for Q, then I pay for running the Spark script, maybe on Glue or EMR, I pay for that. So the pricing for SageMaker Unified Studio continues to be what we have always had. You pay for EMR, you pay for Glue, you pay for Redshift. That rule still applies. There is no additional cost for this tooling that we are providing, and the simplification. You don't pay for those things. Even the catalog portion is you pay extremely minimal. A business data catalog can run hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, if not million, 2 million in licensing fees. The business data catalogs can get expensive. If you look at our business data catalog, if you use the heck out of it, okay, hundreds, thousands of users, it you pay for API charges. It makes API calls behind the scenes to the Glue data catalog and other services underneath the business data catalog. You pay for that. And that's will
That's it.
probably cost you 5-6 grand for the year, according to some of the modeling that I have done, which is nothing compared to a commercial business data catalog.
And all the prices are available publicly anyway. So, right, if someone is
Exactly.
interested, just go and try it. Having said that, Raghu, thank you very much. This was very insightful sessions for all our viewers, and love to have you in our future discussions. So, and if you are watching this one, if you have any more questions around the SageMaker Unified Studio, Raghu was, I know he has been fought a very strong battle to have this product into what we are seeing.
Crusade. I like
Chris,
the word crusade.
I like the okay.
Yeah.
So he was one of those, and And again, if you like this video, please do like, subscribe, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm struggling YouTuber yet, so I will bring such more guests to my sessions.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for having me, Navneet. It's a
Yeah, thank
pleasure.
yes, thank you. See you.
May your YouTube channel soar.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.